Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking, and just like that, Season 1, Episode 7, Sex and the Widow. You guys, do you know when you have something big to tell your best friend and you're just so giddy to talk to them about it? That's what you all have become for me. When I watch this episode and they service this big pile of steaming you-know-what, I cannot wait to jump on this mic and just unload it all with you guys. And then I can't wait to jump in the comments and read what all you have to say. So you better buckle up because this one's going to be huge. We have so much to talk about. I do want to encourage you to stick around to the end of the video because I have some channel stuff going on, some cool stuff coming up that I want to talk to you about. I need your help with an upcoming video, so stay tuned for details about that. But first, before we jump into it, I did want to let you know I have a Patreon now, so check that out. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recap, and you'll find my logo and you'll find us. So take a look at that, see if it works out. The first episode's free. You can watch it here on YouTube. After that, you can check them out on Patreon. We're doing the original Sex and the City series. Okay, you know what time it is. Time for my thesaurus. Usually I look up the word sucks, but this episode requires that we go to the next level because that's how bad this one was. You ready? We are looking up adjectives for the word shit, as in this one is the biggest pile of it. So we're going to find another word today to describe what they've handed us. And I don't know about you guys looking at this list, there's a lot of good contenders. I've never heard of claptrap. That sounds like something you'd catch from somebody. But I really like bull's wool. What do we think? What do we vote for? Yeah, I think this episode is bull's wool. It's still a load of pants, too. Okay, I'm giddy with excitement. We are going to get into this episode. I just have so much to tell you guys. You just won't even believe this. So I just have to thank you all because of you and your comments and your thumbs up and everything. I've gained so many new subscribers, which if you're new here, thank you so much for being here. And if you've been with me the whole time, thank you too so much. But it's been amazing, and everything is taken off for me. And last night, something huge happened. I'm just going to show you this. Look, Candace Bushnell followed me, you guys. I've never tagged her in anything. I've never done it. It just wouldn't even occur to me to do that, but she followed me. And so I started looking into it to see, oh God, is she involved in this new thing? But no, she's not. So this article breaks down that of course she's a writer of all the original, I love her. She wrote these characters. And they asked if she was involved with it just like that. And she basically says, hell no, I'm not. This was all Sarah Jessica Parker and Michael Patrick King. So can I just say, Candace Bushnell, if you're watching, I love you. I love everything you've done. You're fantastic. This pile of bull's wool has nothing to do with these fantastic characters you've written for us. Okay, on to this episode. I'm just going to start out and say, when did she forget how to act? I think I've been so surprised at how bad Miranda / Cynthia Nixon has been in this series that I'm kind of floored this episode at how bad Kristen Davis was. Now, I know that the writers are writing this bull's wool for her, but her acting, I just really want you to pay attention to it. It was so bad this episode. Also, speaking of bad this episode, hi Wig, how you doing? Carrie has a line in this episode that says, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, just vomit. That's literally what the line says. And that is exactly how I feel that's exactly what they've done with this reboot. Isn't it supposed to be our light at the end of the tunnel for these characters? Our light at the end of the tunnel of what we've all been through for the last couple years? Just our happy place, right? Nope, just vomit. We have so much to talk about. This episode was full of uncomfortable silences. They show us barfing. We get so much more Che on our screens. You guys, oh my gosh, if you didn't see yesterday's video, as soon as this is over, watch the one because we roast Che and it's the funniest damn thing. So last week I started this thing where I pointed out the worst lines of the episode. And since Kristen Davis did such a terrible job in this week's episode, I'm just going to leave her picture here while we read them. First terrible line of the episode, Miranda. She says, if you two were a TV show, I'd be streaming you. Steve, my wallet. Shit. I left my wallet over at the pickle guy. Amanda, that editor of Carrie's. You caught me with a milk mustache. Miranda, when Oprah mandates a mandate, what are you gonna do? Carrie, you staged me like an apartment. Charlotte, hey honey, you having a little midnight toast? Charlotte again. As Demi Lovato would say, sorry, not sorry. Is that not some of the worst writing you've ever heard in your entire life? Seriously, those lines are straight out of the show and just, I gotta look up the word worst because I keep using it, but it's the worst. I've just never heard of anything like that. That's crap I'd write in middle school. We're going to go scene by scene. We really are. You guys are so amazing. I love talking about this stuff with you, so we're going to talk about it all. The uncomfortable silences in this episode really got to me. If you just sit back and watch and think about it, there's so much not speaking happening. And sure, that can be effective when used correctly, but in something like this where it's already a hot pile of garbage, you need storylines. You need talking to keep the story going, but nothing is happening. They show us barfing. It's so gross. Carrie's being an asshole. I mean, what else is new? I know, but she said how many times about her husband dying? She literally says, unless you shit yourself on a date after your husband died, I win. That's what she said to Anthony, you guys. I can't. So much awfulness. They play Eye of the Tiger in this song. I love Always Sunny, and Dee says, what the shit? So now I say it. So I literally wrote in my notes, what the shit is happening? Because Eye of the Tiger, I'm sure you know, but just in case, it's in the movie Rocky. So what is this Rocky thing? How many times are we going to hear this Rocky thing? Why does this have to keep being a thing? Some sort of weird-ass cross-promotion? Like, do you think Rocky keeps talking about which guy Carrie is hooked up with and her outfits and stuff? Probably not. P.S. I would watch that, recap the hell out of it, and we'd all get a laugh. Okay, so every week I also point out what comments you guys have had throughout the week. This week was no exception. Fantastic comments from you all. Keep them coming. So this week it was all about Carrie's looks. How they have her dressing so old and her bun is so severe and it just does her no favors and it makes no sense. So the episode starts out at the window. It's a montage. Again, uncomfortable silence. Yes, there's music, but there's no words. We're seeing the seasons pass by. P.S. It's so weird. I actually did a video going up tomorrow about Easter eggs in the original series and how they really don't show the seasons too much. It's mostly just spring, so that way they can show off their outfits. So pay attention to tomorrow's video. So last week, we all focused on the terrible green screen in her new apartment. This week, I'm going to focus on the terrible fake exterior shots, the leaves. I believe that somebody was just dropping craft leaves from Michael's, and they looked awful. Again, we have no words. It's just Carrie working, no voiceovers, which would have carried this scene, no pun intended, previously. But nope, they won't even give us that because they're assholes. So they're playing this loud Spring is Here song, and we get the terrible title card, and just like that. So, and just like that, we're not going to talk to you. And just like that, we're not going to give you what you love about your original show. Now, I called it in the preview. I have to reuse this joke, but I just have to show you Carrie is dressing like the Joker. And my favorite Batman movie is the Michael Keaton one. Don't judge me. But I'm serious. This is how the Joker dressed. It's just that I like the Joker's makeup better than I like the makeup in this show. Speaking of makeup, next Friday, you guys, I got my makeup collab coming up. It's with Cat's Eye Beauty. She's going to answer all our questions about the original series and this train wreck and the makeup looks. So we haven't even gotten to the awful point that they're trying to make with all this. Meaning, the idea of this episode is that Carrie is supposed to go on a date because her book is too sad and they need to put kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, like a happy ending, I don't know, an epilogue on the end of this one saying that there is hope. So by her going on a date, then they can write that. What the hell are we talking about? Just write the damn book. I mean, Just write it in the book. If she's that uncomfortable with going on a date, but she knows she'll date eventually, just write that. You don't have to give every detail, but you can still give hope at the end. But in order to get it out by Christmas, they need to go ahead and get her on this date. Make it make sense. Speaking of not making sense, here's Charlotte. Charlotte and LTW. We find out there's an auction coming up. Why is Charlotte acting so bad? That's literally the note I have here. They're talking about beating these bitches, and we just find out they're just playing some ladies at tennis. This is where we get the Rocky montage, playing Eye of the Tiger. And you guys, obviously they have no money for wardrobe or a location or scriptwriters, so they used it all on the music in the episode, I guess. Who knows? This is awful. What was it? Bull's balls, bag of balls, whatever it is. It's a load of pants. It's schlocky. You guys, Miranda. We haven't even started talking about Miranda. Charlotte was so bad in this episode, it distracted me, so I'm sorry. Let me get my priorities in order. Miranda. We immediately see her yelling at Steve on the phone. Because remember, we're all old, and haha, Steve can't hear anymore. We're old, remember? I have to remind you that we're old, because they sure like to do it. Also, let's point out all of Steve's flaws. That way we don't hate Miranda when she cheats on him. Isn't that what they're doing here? Guess what, assholes? It's not working. We still hate Miranda. Also, I said this before, I'm going to say again, ABCDEFU to the people that wrote me. Oh no, she's not a bad actress. She was just acting like she was drunk before. Guess what? She's supposed to not be drunk now. Why is she acting like this? Miranda runs into Professor Naya at the market because that's all the writers can think to do is just have them repeatedly run into each other. And tell me you caught this. When Naya introduces her husband to Miranda, she says the line, "I never wanted you two to meet." Why did she say that? I mean, yeah, you probably wouldn't want to introduce your friends to Miranda because she doesn't know how to be a human, but why would she say that? That was such a weird line. Did anybody else catch that? He says, nice to meet you. You beat up Chucky in the subway. You guys. And then they make out with each other in front of Miranda because he needs to walk away to get some cheese. What the holy hell is happening? What am I watching? I understand the writers are trying to show us that he's excited about the possibility of a baby, but what the hell am I watching? Seriously? So after he walks away, immediately Naya tells her, "I got my period this morning." Again, I know it has to do with fertility. I just don't care. And why do we need to know that? It just, nobody's happy in their lives, so let's show that too. Now I'm going to take about 2 hours and say justice for Steve, because this is ridiculous. They have turned him into a complete bumbling idiot. He walks up, he's talking about his wallet and the pickle guy, and he can't hold a conversation. He can't hear anything. They've just completely checked him out, so that way we'll be like, yeah, Miranda, go get yours with Che. But that is never going to happen. So then we see Carrie wearing whatever the hell this is. She's going back to meet with Amanda. I don't know why Amanda is necessary, but they talk about book cover proposal and they're showing options. And this is where we find out about a milk mustache. It's all so ridiculous. But you guys, I just need to say they have done this storyline before. We've seen this, and Samantha did so much better of a job talking about the book covers and how it needs to look. And remember, they walked through the bookstore, and again, in tomorrow's video, I actually show a clip from it. How crazy is that? I'm like psychic. But, no, seriously, they've done this before. They love to dust off these storylines because they can't think of anything new and cool about. They talk about Oprah Book Club, and people are interested, but she has to go on a date because, again, that's a thing. Then we see Carrie out at dinner with Charlotte, Miranda, and Seema. Why is Seema there? I don't know. So I know they're trying to make her the new Samantha, but why is Seema there? So they're talking about this benefit. Charlotte says you can meet guys there. Carrie says that she wants to go the anonymous route. So of course Seema volunteers. Don't worry, I've already signed you up on 3 dating sites, but I went ahead and narrowed it down to 1. So Carrie says, you staged me like an apartment? Then we see them swiping through eligible bachelors. Charlotte has a line here that is, again, I know it's not Kristen's fault, but I'm saying the writers made this line, right? Again, because we, the viewers, are idiots, so she has to say things like this. He's objectively handsome. Who says it like that? Seriously, do you talk to your friends like that? Because I sure as hell don't. I just say, dude, that guy's hot. Go out with him. Whatever. Okay, maybe you don't say it like that, but still, like, whatever. That guy looks good. Go out with him. You don't say, he's objectively handsome. That's not how humans talk. These are robots. So after dinner, Miranda and Carrie go for a walk. And you guys, I just have to point out, of course they do it at night because we can't get any shots of the city. It no longer has anything to do with the city. Things are dark. It's just bustling. Oh, God. Everything we love about the original is gone. What the hell is Carrie's purse? I don't understand. What the hell is Miranda's outfit? All of it. So bad. So Miranda says, no sex for you ever. And Carrie says, well, she doesn't want to have sex with anybody but Mr. Big. Miranda says she would kill to get back on the roller coaster. She's been riding the monorail too long. Again, justice for Steve. He doesn't deserve this. You're a terrible person. Miranda asks the lifespan of an unanswered text. Carrie, I'm surprised, doesn't jump on the lifespan thing and say, my husband died. They talk about, I don't know, if Che's asked about her, it's all so ridiculous. Carrie says, maybe your sex life is in a deep coma. You guys, I had to laugh at this part, and not because the way the writers want me to, but because these people are robots. Charlotte literally says, hey, honey, having a little midnight toast? That's not a thing that people say. Last week it was bed toast. Now it's midnight toast. What the hell is going on with the toast? Harry finds a reason to get himself invited to tennis the next day so they can play with LTW and her husband. They really want to play doubles. Who cares? Let's move on. And speaking of who cares, let's move on. We have Naya. She and her husband are in the car. And why is this guy on my So she gets a text from Miranda, and the car decides to read it out loud. So sorry you're not pregnant. I hope it went well. It was so stupid. I don't do this with I have an old car, so I don't know if they read your text. I don't care. This is ridiculous. Even if it does it just automatically start reading it? I just can't imagine that they work like that. So she's trying to swipe it away, and the husband is mad that he told one of her students before she told him. So, again, I just want to remind you, this is the professor. That's not a normal professor relationship. But then we have this very weird scene where this guy keeps banging on the window saying, I have a toddler, which they laugh hysterically at. I just didn't find any of it funny or amusing, and I don't understand where they're going with that. So again, more awkward silence, no voiceovers, no nothing. Carrie's just sitting in her bed, swiping on people, finds this guy, Peter, 53 years old. He lost his wife, and Carrie decides to like his picture or whatever the kids say now. So LTW and her husband decide to play doubles against Charlotte and Harry. And Harry's encouraging her, don't hold back, go for the ball. So when she does, she bumps into him and he falls to the ground. And she says, honey, are you okay? And Harry has to point out that he's Jewish. He says, I'm an old Jewish guy trying to play sports. And all I could think was, yep, just remind us of that so we can check that box too. Okay, so what was the point of any of this? Is it to make all the men look so unlikable that the women can leave them? I don't understand. I didn't actually think Harry was being unlikable. I just find it weird that he was obsessing about the apology, but I find it even weirder that Charlotte couldn't just apologize. She did mess up. She did bump into him. She knocked him down, but then couldn't apologize. It's so weird. So when they're walking away, they have this weird tiff, and it would bug me if my husband said, don't you have something you want to say to me? That's how you talk to a child. But all he needed was that I'm sorry, and she just kept standing her ground saying, I'm not going to apologize, I'm not going to apologize. Then she says he can be a mansplainer, you guys. Because I'm just asking for a simple apology. What's the big deal? It's 2 words. She said, I have nothing to apologize for. So they're arguing loudly, and LTW overhears it, and it's awkward, and I don't know what's up her ass. I don't know why she can't just say, sorry, I did knock you over. I understand the point that the writers are trying to make about women having to apologize for everything, but in this case, she actually does owe him an apology. Okay, guys, this is where I take a chopstick out, stick it in my ear, and swirl it around, because this part was so bad. We're at Steve and Miranda's, their exciting, very full of love situation in the kitchen, and for some reason that seems to be an aphrodisiac for Miranda. Okay, there's obvious reasons why I hate this scene because, ew, Miranda, cringe. But the reason I hate this so much is because she's doing that thing where she does a little something, where she's pretending to try to want to have sex with him, right? But then he tries back, it's not good enough for her, so then she just becomes the martyr. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she becomes this, she even says later to Carrie, I tried everything I can. No, you didn't. No, you did not. You're standing in your kitchen. He's not doing it the right way or the way you like it. So instead of talking to him about it like a normal couple or figuring it out together, you just brush him off and is like, never mind. Just never mind. It's not realistic. It doesn't make sense. I know what they're saying. When you've been with somebody a long time, things change. I get it, but not that these are two strangers. These are roommates. And I understand that's what they're trying to show, but they're trying to be like, look, she deserves happiness and love, but she's the asshole here. She's not trying with Steve. She's pushing him away and then acting like she's trying. But seriously, you guys, let's go back to the cringe. What the hell is with the kitchen and Miranda? What is happening? Why is this such an aphrodisiac for her? To quote Lisa Kudrow, which many of you guys say I sound like, she plays Valerie Cherish in The Comeback. Her famous line, I don't want to see that. So when he doesn't do it the exact same way that Che does to make her happy, she just brushes him off and says, never mind. And can I just say, if the roles were reversed and Steve were doing this to Miranda, would Steve not be the biggest villain in the whole wide world? I know he already banged somebody else on the side a long time ago, but I'm saying, like, if we actively saw him having this side thing and then telling Miranda, just never mind because she's not doing him the way he likes to be done, the way his side girlfriend does him, I mean, everybody would be freaking out, right? So I'm freaking out over this Miranda thing. She's a monster. She sucks. What's happening? Now, I hate Carrie's hair here, but I will say I really like this dress. I'd like to see it without the jacket. I think it's a really pretty color. There, I said something positive. So she's on this date with Peter, and it's just awkward silence, which I get you have to have. It's her first date. It's both of their first dates since their spouses passed away. I do get that. But this whole episode is filled with awkward silence, so it just made it harder to watch. I did like the scene where they come out of the restaurant. I liked it for about 2 seconds because they were both laughing. They had completely gotten wasted. But then, you guys, the barfing. I'll watch whatever, but I hate barfing. I hate the noise. I hate seeing it. I can't watch it. It grossed me out so bad. Was not needed in the show. So then over to this benefit. The bidding is not going well. They make a huge exclamation point of showing that LTW is not great on the mic. I'm sorry, but she's stunning. Stunning. I actually okay, let me change that. I like this dress because she's gorgeous and she looks good and everything. I don't love the puffy sleeve. I didn't think the necklace was necessary. I thought it was too much with this dress. I do like Carrie's dress here. It's okay. The boat neck is nice on her, and I like the fit of the dress. The black and white's kind of nice. They could have done better. It's a benefit. It's not the fanciest dress, and they have to pull her damn hair back so tight. It gives me a headache every time I see it. So you guys, this is a scene where Anthony tells us he wants to shit himself on a date. Why? Why are we getting this information? But Carrie has to make it all about herself again. Says, as I said at the top of the episode, unless you shit yourself on a date after your husband dies, I win for worst night ever. You guys, let me just throw this out at you and get meta for a second. Think about those shitty-ass writers that they wrote this line after Stanford died, like the actor did, and Willie in real life, and they gave her this line to say about her pretend husband, pretend dying, and it just really bothered me. It just really bothered me, and I'm so frustrated. I'm not even speaking correctly, but he sucked. The writers suck. So again, bidding's still not going well. Things are awkward. Then we go, speaking of awkward, to Harry. He's pestering Charlotte for this apology. None of it makes any sense. Why didn't she just apologize? Why is he still pestering her for it? The writers have him counting her apologies, 12, since they left the house that night. This is where we get the whole women apologize to the whole world, all day long for everything. So as Demi Lovato would say, sorry, not sorry. You guys, that is the most cringy moment. That is, none of it makes any sense. Why are we talking about Demi Lovato? This sorry, not sorry thing. Why did Kristen deliver the line like that? Why is Charlotte saying things like this? So Carrie has to make everything about herself. So she says her book is dead, no glimmer of hope. Miranda says that her sex life is dead. She tried hard to revive it. That's her trying hard, you guys. Her trying hard is not having any kind of open communication with him and, I don't know, going to a bedroom, not in the kitchen. Like, that's her trying hard. She's trying, you guys. So let me break this down for you again. This is the writers being lazy. Instead of writing an interesting way for Miranda to be with, God, I don't want to say with Che, but with some, I don't know, for Miranda and Steve not to work out, they've written it that he's lame, so I get to cheat. Sorry, but that's not how life works. We're all lame at some point in our lives. We're not all like supermodels all the time, so that doesn't give our partners passes to cheat. The irony of all of this can be summed up like this. In an effort to be so progressive, the writers don't even realize they've taken about 25 steps backwards in terms of, gender and sex and just race and all of it. It just doesn't make any sense. God, you guys, this is the part of the episode where Che Diaz gets crammed down our damn throats. I'm not even kidding. Che is introduced as you can see them in their new Netflix comedy special. I'm truly surprised it was called a comedy special and not a comedy concert. So, did you hear the huge applause that Che gets when they come up on stage? P.S. So, this is through HBO, obviously. It's put out on HBO Max, which is a competitor to Netflix. So, I have a theory that because Che Diaz sucks so bad and is so not funny, they keep putting Che Diaz with Netflix to try to drive their shares down, their share prices down, try to make HBO Max look better. Prove me wrong. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but it did. I would actually find it so much funnier if Che stood up there and started saying waka 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 like Fozzie the Bear than this bullshit they're handing us here. So for whatever reason, we see audience reactions that look like this while Che's telling jokes, ? So here's one of Che's jokes. You ready? How we doing tonight? This auction's taking longer than I did to come out. I'm pausing for all the laughter and applause because, yeah. So as soon as Che started speaking, it's like Miranda saw the bat signal, right? But instead it was the Rambo signal. So she had to she was drawn like a beacon to it, right? She had a gravitational pull toward Che and said, that's Che. Che's performing, and just walks off. Carrie sees her date from the other night. Anthony comes up to talk to Carrie, and she hides behind Anthony and peers around him to look at the date. It doesn't matter. You guys did such a great job pointing out in the comments last week, since when are Carrie and Anthony this tight? So what it is again, the writers have decided, since Stanford is no longer here, they have to reassign Anthony to Carrie. It just doesn't make any sense. And again, you guys, Carrie's the asshole here, and I know I've said that like 17 times this episode, but she is. She makes Anthony, she says, follow him out. Tell me when you're sure he's gone. My husband died. That's literally what she says. He says you can only use this one more time. I'm saying she's going to use this 17 more times. The whole thing is ridiculous. Speaking of, there's Che. So these women are talking to Che, and they literally say, we know we're not your core demographic, but we love you. Again, I ask you, who would say this line? That's not something that you would ever say to somebody. We're not your core demographic, but we love you. That's not how humans talk. That's how robots talk. That's the damn writers again, checking these stupid boxes instead of just being human and relating to each other. So the fans, which I'm choking on, are telling Che, I watched your special 10 times. We're fans for life. Che's rude. She just kind of doesn't really take it in. She's so busy flirting with Miranda. Che is supposed to be this charismatic person. It's not there. The writers suck, and she sucks, and this whole thing sucks. Then Che says to Miranda, hey, Rambo. And I'm pretty sure Miranda had a big old orgasm right there. Anytime you use the word Rambo, they are all for. You're just going to leave without saying hello? That's Che delivering their lines. So they go back and forth. I mean, we knew what was going to happen, right? Where Che's like, I haven't been ignoring you. It's a misunderstanding. We find out it was 3 months ago that Miranda was messaging her. You're telling me you don't have each other's phone numbers? Really? You can't get it through Carrie? You have to go through this direct message or this DM thing? So Che says if I was being a dick, I didn't mean to. I didn't clock it. So Miranda is trying to play it cool and say, oh, you're busy, I'm busy, it's all good. Did I just say it's all good? And of course they laugh and laugh because they know what comedy is. So Che says, I want to go someplace with you. Take off all your clothes. And Miranda says, really? Because she's so excited she got called Rambo and she gets to screw Che all in the same night. So we see LTW and her husband fighting. He has an early flight. He wants to stop doing this MC duty. And she's like, no, it's stupid. I don't even care. So Harry and Charlotte catch them fighting, looking for a bathroom because they need to go to the bathroom together. Sure, that's a thing. Carrie is trying to escape this event, and they're going to auction off a date with her. It's so stupid. It's supposed to be a lunch thing, and he calls it a date. He also calls sex writer Carrie Bradshaw. She says it makes her sound like she writes porn. When he announces her, nobody cheers, as opposed to when he announced Che. It was just raucous applause, and it's huge. He makes Carrie come up on stage, and the starting bid is $500. It's nothing but awkward silence. Somebody yells out from the crowd, can't bid, we're all married. I mean, again, it's like, it's a lunch. She's not going to sleep with you. This is very stupid. So Charlotte ends up bidding $700, and then she bids $800 because she doesn't understand how bids work. Carrie bids $1,000 to take herself down off the block. Then that guy she went out with, I don't even remember his name and I don't care. He bid $1,050, and I'm thinking she's bid $1,000. Like maybe do $1,100. I don't know. Anthony says he was in the men's room getting a hand job from a cater waiter, and that's how come he didn't realize that the date had slipped back in. Guys, what? I do like the length of this dress on Carrie. I think she looks pretty here. I like the white on her. I hate the hair like that so much. So the date comes to find her and says they don't have to go out again if she doesn't want to. And they talk about who's going to pay for the bid. And he can't remember how he got home from the date. And she's like, okay, let's do it. He kind of makes her laugh, so she agrees to go on a second date. He wants to take her out again. Now in this part, you guys, I can't show too many pictures because boobs are out and also I will gag. So they finish up, and Miranda says, I've never felt anything so intense in my life. Again, poor Steve. Justice for Steve. She says, I think I'm in love with you. And Che says, you're not in love with me. You're in love with you. And the weed doesn't hurt either. This is the writing. And then she says, also, I'm very good at sex. And they laugh because everything Che says is hilarious. Why did we need that scene? What are we doing here? It's so cringe and so over the top. Let me tell you, I could get down with some original L Word. I love that show. Shane, there's nothing sexier. When the difference we talked about this in the comments with some of you guys, but with Shane, she had this, I don't know, she just had this quiet confidence about herself. I believe that's what they're trying to go for with Che. They're missing the mark by a million. And with L Word, I don't know, you want to see them get down. Like, they build up the sexual chemistry. It was hot. It was, You saw every kind of dynamic there, and it was fun to watch. That's not what this is. This is something else, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that. And that was my Valerie Cherish again, and if you listen to Danny Pellegrino, I promise I'm not ripping him off. I love him. He inspired me to watch the show, and now I'm obsessed. In fact, I have a recap out coming soon of the first episode. Okay, last scene. We can do this. So Carrie's at home. She gets this text from that date saying, looking forward to date number 2. So it's awkward silence. Again, nothing. Should be a voiceover moment. Nothing. At the end of the other episodes, sometimes at the end, they'll kind of dress her up a little bit and she'll be walking out somewhere. She'll put on a fabulous outfit or kind of fabulous outfit, that kind of thing. And you hear a voiceover. We get nothing. And then finally, we do get something where she says, and just like that, I found a glimmer of hope. So good that that's happening. Terrible execution. So that's it for the episode, but don't click off because I need your help with something. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I want to just get these thoughts out here. This season is like nothing I've ever seen before. I cannot believe it. I say it every week. I am shocked. I keep thinking, surely we're going to get a good episode. Surely there's going to be something fun to talk about. They can't possibly do this every single episode. Not only do they do it every single episode, it's getting worse. So this is episode 7, you guys. Episode 7 of 10. A lot of people ask how many episodes. There's going to be 10 episodes. This is number 7. What's happening? Where are we going with this? This is awful. I am stunned at the poor writing, at the poor acting, at the just all of it. I really am. I'm shocked into silence, even though I've talked for 40 minutes. But I don't know. I just don't know what else to say except for why? Why are they? Why? Why is this what we have? I think the beginning of this, when I talked about Candace Bushnell, straight up saying it's Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker teaming up, and this is their vision. I'm going to say, well, then this is what we get, because obviously those two are so full of themselves. This is what we get, and we're missing that original fun, light, funny, sparky, show that we all loved, and this is what we're getting, and it's not fair. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on from here. So much stuff coming up, you guys. I'm so excited. So excited for you. I mean, just for the channel that you guys are here. I say it every time. I really mean it. I read every single comment. I'm jumping all around, but I want to say a huge thank you to all of you. I put out a video God, I can't even keep my day straight. I think it was this last week. About Kate the Great. So many of you went on her channel and wrote such kind things about this channel, and I want you to know I read every single one of them. I'm blown away. You guys, when I say, and I do comment on some of you, you've made my day, I want you to know I literally mean that. You have made my day. Every day is brighter because of you guys. I get so many kind comments saying you don't even watch the show, you just pay attention to the recap so we can, discuss it together. And I am moved beyond moved when I read things like that. I mean, just so many kind words said, and I want you to know I have to find a new way of saying how much I appreciate you, but I do. I really, truly do. I appreciate every single one of you. I read every single comment, even if I don't write back or I don't heart it or whatever. I am reading every single one. I try to respond as many as I can, but there's a lot of comments. So know that I am reading your comment. I am getting them. Check back, because I usually do write back and sometimes you guys don't see it. So do check back and see, because sometimes I write you back. But guys, I just appreciate every single one of you. So now here's where I ask for your help. And I came up with this idea that I think will be a lot of fun. So I set up this email address, rhrcomments@gmail.com. Here's what I want from you. Send me a very short video of yourself responding to, it could be this episode, it could be the whole series and just like that, it could be the original Sex and the City, anything to do with that you want to respond to. I want to put it together in a video, react to it, let's share it with the community. Let's watch each other. I just think it'd be so fun to do something like that. Now, if you're not wanting to be on video, I get it. I'm the same way. Film your wall. I don't care. Just use your phone, talk loudly into it, keep it short and succinct, and send it to me. If it's too long, it probably won't email, but if it's short enough, you can just email it to this address. Don't worry, I won't share any of your personal information if you don't want. Like, you can tell me your name in the recording if you want, and if you don't want to tell me, that's okay too. That's your call. So send me your videos to this address. Now, the other thing I want to say is thank you for all who have already sent me videos and things. It's very hard for me to respond from this email address. I just want to keep it for videos. And some people can't send videos. If you can't and you want to type out a response, that's okay too. I welcome that. But it's harder for me to communicate through this email. Some people are already sending like their thoughts on this episode and stuff to the email. I appreciate that. If you will, keep those in the comment section. I just can't. It's hard for me to write back from this email address because there's just too much going on. But do send me if you want to make a video reacting to things like involved in just like that. Do it, and I'll put it together in a video. It's just something I want to work on. I think it'd be a fun project. And it's a way to continue to bring us all together and for us to see each other. I just think it'd be a lot of fun. So leave me your comments there. Again, talk loud into your mic. Keep it short. Send it on. I welcome it. Otherwise, just keep writing comments in the comments section. No chat tonight. I think Monday I put up a video that said we were chatting tonight. That was a mistake. It's not tonight. We did one on Tuesday. But if you missed it, don't worry. We'll do one again soon. I am going to put up another video later today when they drop the preview for the next episode. You better believe I'll be recapping that. You guys, I have talked for 42 minutes. I can't even believe it. But I had so much to say about this one, and I just can't wait to read your comments. Thank you guys so much for everything. I appreciate the heck out of you. Do leave me comments. Send me your videos, and I will talk to you again soon. Stay healthy and safe. Bye-bye.